G'day guys, welcome to week 5 of Traffic Power's first in-house pod truck build. Last week we got most of the rack done. I'm not going to go too far into that. That is starting to get a little bit boring. It's just welding and grinding and welding and grinding. So I'm going to finish that off in the background and move on to something else. We'll give you an update when that's done. This week what we're going to do is focus on the spikes that are going to hold the cones up. So when you go around a corner, a stack of 20 cones is going to want to lean, it's going to want to tip. So in order to stop it from tipping over, we're going to bolt some spikes to the tray. Those spikes will sit about so high and they will have a round piece of steel on the top of them. When the cone sits down, the piece of steel will be inside the cone and it will stop the stack of cones from tipping over. So we need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need to make 12 of those. So I'll take you over here and show you where we're up to. We've got 12 plates, 12 bars, and I've made this little jig here that's just gonna help me get them about right. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to be roughly in the middle and about vertical. So this is as good as we need. Today what we're gonna do is try to get all 12 of these made, as far as having the rod attached to the base plate, and we're also gonna create a couple of little triangular like supports that are going to stop the weight of the cones from actually breaking these welds. First step is to clean all the scale and crap off here. So we're going to do that first, and then we'll just tack all of these on. Then we will cut our supports from this bar and we'll tack those in, and then we'll get welding. So let's get into it. Well, that was easy. We've got all the rubbish off the end of our bars. We have the scale off the plates, and we've got our jig set up. I've just rethought the jig a little bit. I've actually spun the vise around, move it backwards a little bit. The plate was sitting on this bit, and it's just not quite level between here and here. So I've moved things around a little bit. What I've worked out is that I need 62 mil, 61 to 62 mil. Only need to check 2 sides, because if that one's 61, 62, then that side must be. And we want to make sure that we are actually close to square. Again, square is not very important for this job, but we want to be, you know, not too bad. That's that set up. We're going to weld this one and see how it goes. I've never welded anything this thick before, and the weld looks like it's sitting up on top of the plate, so not really sure how strong this is going to be. So I think we're going to find out. I'm going to put it in the vise and I'm going to whack that end with a hammer, and if it breaks I'll get better, and if it doesn't, it'll be good enough.
For the supports, I want to cut these little triangles out, but each time I cut one, I have to cut an angle, and then I have to cut straight, and then cut an angle, and then cut straight. So I have to adjust this every time. So I'm going to cut doubles like this, and then I'm going to try to hold, I'm going to turn them, and I'm going to cut them through the middle. So I need 36 supports. So we're going to cut 18 of these, and then cut them all in half, and that should give us 36. Right, last thing to do with these pieces is to clear the weld. We just need to cut these little corners out so that they can sit like this before we tack them on. So to do that, I'm just putting them in the vise like 4 at a time, and just going to take the angle grinder and cut the top off. There's probably a better way to do this, but this is what we're doing. Okay guys, that is a completed cone spike base. There's still one piece of steel that's going to go on the top here, a round piece, but we've got to get those laser cuts, so they're a little while away. For now, we're just going to focus on getting all 12 spikes done as far as this is done, and that'll be our day. I've never welded anything quite this complicated. I usually just weld straight pieces of steel to other straight pieces of steel. So considering, yeah, this is probably the most complicated fab job I've ever done. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So off we go. We're going to finish all these up, and that'll be the day.